You want to get the highest IELTS score possible, and I'm here to help you, a certified British Council agent with nearly 20 years of IELTS teaching experience. Let's watch a low Band 4 IELTS speaking interview with Anton. I will explain his score according to the official IELTS speaking marking criteria and give you tips on what to avoid and how to get those high scores. Let's begin. Welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. I'm recording this for marking purposes. The test has 3 parts. I will give you instructions for each. For part 1, I will ask you some questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. May I see your identification?
Yes, please. Here is my passport.
Can you just open it to the page with your credentials?
That I used to register for this test a few weeks ago.
And what is your full name?
My name is Anthony Philip Novak. My middle name is Philip, but you can call me only Anthony.
Okay, Anthony. You can put that away. Okay. Where do you live?
I live in the suburbs of Warsaw. We live in a detached home with a little backyard, and the house is 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 2 level. There is 2 stories in this home.
What is your hobby?
My pleasure activity is model building. I'm usually build planes. This is the hobby what I'm doing since I was young.
Let's talk about gardening. Do you have a garden where you live?
Yes, as I mentioned it, we had a little backyard around our house, and yeah, I love to gardening.
Do you like to garden? Why or why not?
Yes, as I said, I love gardening because I'm relaxing when I'm gardening.
How often do you garden?
Usually I'm gardening only during the weekends, of course during the summer. Only the weekends, because during the week I don't have too much time for it.
Whom do you garden with?
Usually I'm gardening by myself. The rest of my family is not much involved in this, but my wife sometimes helps me with plant some flowers or some, vegetables.
Have you ever planted a flower or a tree?
Yes, every year I planted dozens of tulips and not too many trees because our backyard is not big enough to plant the trees.
If you could grow any kind of plant, what would it be?
Good question. So I think that I would like to plant the watermelon, but because I like the taste of the watermelon, but I don't have that much time to plant it. I know it's needs to be very care about this plant. And
that is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. For this part, first impressions are very important in the IELTS speaking interview to get those high band scores. You must introduce yourself fluently, showing your identification, giving your name, and explaining where you live. According to the IELTS, a Band 4 candidate is a person who speaks slowly, takes awkward pauses, corrects themselves often, and repeats what they say. You must avoid all of these when introducing yourself. Unfortunately, Anthony does not. He speaks slowly, awkwardly, and takes pauses. Practice different ways to introduce yourself, like, "Gladly, here's my passport that I had used for registration a couple of weeks ago. Please take a look." "Certainly, please allow me a moment to take my passport out of my pocket and turn to the page with the credentials. Here it is. Please have a look at it." Again, practice this often before your IELTS exam so that it comes to you automatically, even when you're nervous. When answering part 1 questions on topics like hobbies, or in this case, gardening, it's absolutely critical that you finish your answers without stopping halfway and confusing the listener. Anthony fails in this attempt. When asked about what type of plant he would like to grow, he responds by stating that he would like to grow watermelons, and then ends awkwardly stating, "you know." Avoid this phrase, "you know." It signals to the examiner that you're unable to finish your ideas and that you expect the examiner to finish the sentence for you. Instead, use an explanation and an example. Because watermelons are difficult to grow. Last summer, I tried to grow a few in my garden, but I just simply didn't have enough time to keep the bugs away and keep them watered. It's this type of clear, finished answer that will get you those higher band scores. You can practice this in our premium IELTS course when you join on our website. Now, let's continue with part 2. Part 2. For this part, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to look at these questions, think about your answers. You can take notes in this 1 minute time. You have your pencil and paper there. And then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start and when to stop. Please do not touch the question paper. Talk about a place.
Can I get another pencil?
Just twist the end. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Talk about a place you like going to buy groceries. Do not touch the paper,
okay.
please.
I'm sorry.
Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
The store what we're using to getting the groceries is a Tesco. It's a supermarket. I think it's the biggest supermarket in the city. It's on the south of Warsaw. The store is convenient, well priced. We can buy the food from around the world. Yeah, it's located on the south of the city. We usually buy their groceries, which we need to prepare for our weekly meals, like breakfast, dinners.
All right, your time is up. I'll stop you there. Please turn over the note paper, put it to the side, as well as the pencil. I will take back the questions and we'll continue with part 3 for this. It is exceptionally important that you do a good job in the long response part 2 cue card, as this sets up for part 3 as well. Part 3 questions relate to part 2. In this case, Anthony does a fairly poor job responding to the cue card on the question of a place where he buys groceries. Right at the beginning, he gets stuck when he explains that at this grocery store, he can buy food from around the world. Then he goes back and starts to repeat himself about the location of the grocery store. And finally, he gets stuck again. When a candidate gets stuck and repeats themselves in part 2, eventually the examiner has no option but to interrupt and move on to part 3. You must avoid this at all costs. The best way is to understand what kind of information you need to include when talking about a location, describing the appearance of the location, describing the people who go to that location, the activities that happen there, and of course your experience. Making sure to use the questions on the cue card. Now, all of this information needs to be linked with good joining words, especially subordinating conjunctions. According to the official IELTS marking criteria, a Band 4 candidate is someone who rarely uses subordinate conjunctions. In this case, Anthony really does not use subordinating conjunctions effectively or at all throughout most of the interview. Be sure to practice your conjunctions before you sit your next IELTS exam. Now, practice this Band 9 response to this question with me before we move on to part 3. Once you're ready, you can also record your own original response to this cue card and send it to us to this email address for a free estimate of your current IELTS speaking level. The supermarket I enjoy going to for groceries is Tesco, which is located on the southern end of Warsaw, not too far from my home, about 5 minutes drive and a short walk from the Kabati metro station. This is one of the biggest supermarkets in the city, with many aisles stocked with not only groceries, but many other household needs as well, like cleaning supplies and toiletries. The store is spacious, with a large ceiling and good air conditioning. I probably go there about once or twice a month, either by myself or with my wife and kids to pick up food that we need for our daily meals. The reason I like to shop there is that it is convenient and well priced. I can find all of the fruits, vegetables, meat, milk products, and bread that my family needs for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Although the product is not always the best quality, their prices are often half as much as other local markets. The other day, I bought a bunch of bananas for just 5 zloty, but it would have cost me 8 anywhere else. In this sense, if I had the chance to change some part of the shopping experience, I would include a local organic produce section in the store where shoppers have the option of buying delicious seasonal fruits and vegetables that were grown by farmers around Poland. Clearly, this would cost a bit more, but then I would be able to buy all the food I need in one place. Now your time is up and we will continue with part 3. This would be a Band 9 example response for this cue card question. Notice how it's a mini story with the ideas well linked with different types of joining words. Can you identify all of those words? Now, let's continue with part 3. I will ask you some questions related to the topic of part 2 and a question in relation to your response. When is the last time you went shopping at Tesco?
The last time when we did the shopping, it was a week ago.
Let's talk about shopping for food. What are some of the most common types of food that people purchase around the world?
I think globally, most common food are starches. I think people mostly buying the rice, fruits. Those produce give us nutrients for we need to.
Why do you think these kinds of foods are readily available?
I think those foods.
Do you think that groceries will become more expensive or cheaper in the next 5 years?
I would like to say they will be cheaper, but most science is saying that the food will be expensive in the next years.
Why do you think this will happen?
Because more people, but less resources. More and more people, but less resources.
How have grocery stores changed in the last 20 years?
In last years, the stores change very much. What I see now, many years before, we couldn't buy any food from other side of the world. This is, today's stores are in the stores you can buy the food from around the world.
Do you think that they will continue to change in the future?
Yes, I am pretty sure they will change. This is what I see now. Many stores offer like online shopping. You can buy the groceries, not even go out from your house. You can order on the website of the stores, and they bring it at your door.
Many people are concerned about the increasing amount of genetically modified foods in stores. Why is that?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes, many people are concerned about the increasing amount of genetically modified foods in stores. Why is this?
Yeah, that's true. I am 100% agree with this. Because, as I said before, it's much more people on the world, and the companies starting producing the foods as quick as they can for less money, I think, you know.
Some people feel that grocery stores should be responsible for offering healthy food to the public. Do you agree with this? And if yes, how can grocery stores do that?
Yes, the groceries should be responsible for this, but I think the government should be involved with some regulation of it. What the produces will go on the shelves in the stores. It should be regulated, like, you know, by law.
That is the end of part 3. That concludes the speaking section of the exam. You will have your mark online in 2 days after you finish the other sections, and your official certificate will be in the mail in about 10 days. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Don't forget your passport. Thank you. Part 3 is where all of the higher band scores, 7, 8, 9, are really decided by the examiner, depending on whether or not the candidate can link their ideas to their Part 2 response and give a great amount of detail with complex compound grammar and excellent vocabulary. When the examiner asks Anthony, when is the last time you went shopping there? Anthony has difficulty explaining that he went shopping there about a week ago. This sentence is way too simple for band 5 or higher. He should have immediately connected with an explanation. Because my family was running low on food and we needed to restock the fridge so we could cook at home and save money that way. This kind of compound, complex sentence would be the way to earn those high scores. Giving a simple answer, as Anthony did, would be a band 4. Poor grammar and unfinished sentences continue to degrade Anthony's overall score for the speaking section. In order to avoid this, a couple of tricks that you can follow are to reflect the grammar of the questions. When asked, how have grocery stores changed in the past few decades? You should respond by using the question and using the grammar, stating they have changed a lot in the last 10 to 20 years. Nowadays, most grocery stores offer a wide range of foods from around the world. By using the question to start your response, you're able to build momentum and fluency. But of course, this takes practice. Pay attention to building your vocabulary, using connective words as often as possible, and paying attention to good strategy, answering, explaining, and giving examples. Follow these tips, and you will for sure get into those band 7, 8, and even 9 levels on your next IELTS exam. Good luck the next time you sit your test. To get over 100 hours of video lessons, an interactive course, original practice exams, and an app for your phone, visit and join our premium IELTS package at aehelp.com. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. Use the special code HIGH9X. Click the link in the video description for an additional 10% discount. We are an IDP affiliate, British Council partner, IELTS Test Registration Center, and I'm a certified British Council agent. Just check out what this student has to say.
Thank you for your informative videos on your YouTube and aehelp.com. I am very grateful to you. By viewing those videos, I have scored 8 band on my IELTS. Please continue the same and help students. Thank you very much, sir.
Begin learning for success today. Join the course now. Subscribe to our channel. Click over here. Watch another video. Click right up here. And click our IELTS Hero to join our premium package and get access to all of our videos, practice exams, and a fully interactive course.